Howdy guys, it's Joe here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the top 5 OP heroes that you can carry yourself with. Now, this is essentially just coming from the data of the heroes that we see with the highest win rates, and that are really just doing the best in this brand new season, and people that are just kind of demolishing as far as their win rates compared to some of the other heroes. Now, with this said, I do want to tell you guys, these guys aren't also the most popular heroes in the game. You might not be seeing them every single game, and of course, because their popularity might be a little bit less, well, of course, only really good people playing them are playing them, so can kind of, jank up the statistics and make them seem a little bit better than a lot of people would normally think. But even with that said, all these heroes have a pretty good play rate and still a really good win rate, so you can kind of keep that under your belt. Anyways, with all that said, let's just get started onto the 5 heroes that can really win you a lot of games. So for our first choice, we have Soldier 76, and everybody knows that this guy is really quite a strong pick. He's been so strong for so long. He can get a lot of nice far range picks, he can fight really well close range, he can heal himself up, he can get across the map pretty much instantly, most consistent DPS, one of the highest burst DPS, really just good at pretty much everything, so it would make sense that he is, of course, one of the highest win rates in the game. As well as this, to boot, he isn't way too hard of a character to be. Of course, getting headshots on every single bullet and really having perfect accuracy can be pretty hard, but to play him at a decent level, it really isn't way too difficult. And if you are looking for a character that is actually really good while you don't have to be like godlike at the game, Soldier's a really nice pick for that. He has overall a pretty good win rate, and if you want to pick up somebody that's easy but strong, and probably will be strong for a very long time and counter a lot of the other DPS, Soldier of course is going to be your number 1 choice. After this, we have Lucio. Now, before we get started about Lucio, I do want to mention the fact that he is getting a really big kit rework, so he could become extremely broken, or he could become completely garbage, so we can't really say for now. But as far as the state that he's in so far, and as far as the state that he's been in for quite a few months, and really all in Season 4 so far, he's doing really good. He has an above 50% win rate, and he actually has like an 8 or 9% play rate, so yeah, I'd say that's a really good statistic. A lot of times you can just pick this guy up, go in with your team, and really help yourself get a lot of nice super good engages. As well, you can get amazing disengages and overall kind of control the flow of the game a lot more than some of the other supports. Of course, your healing isn't quite as good, but if you aren't that great at support, his healing is really quite easy to do, and of course, you can be really safe while you're healing, and you don't really get countered by a lot of the people that would normally traditionally counter the backline, like Genji and Tracer. You can do darn well against them as this character. So, if you're looking for someone that's an easy-ish support that can also carry a lot of your games and do really well with your other tanks, with your healers, and with your offense characters, Lucio's probably a good pick, and since he's been good for so long, if these changes don't come through, as far as what they are right now, he's probably going to be good. And even if they do come through, I feel like he'll still probably be a good pick and someone that's good to learn and to master and to just kind of demolish with. For the third pick, we have a character that I've been seeing a lot in Season 4. Now, especially I've been seeing this character, that is Pharah, while we're a little bit lower in the rankings. I feel like once you get to a certain point, like Grandmaster, Masters, I guess even top 500, it becomes a little bit harder to, just player, because there's a lot more McCrees, there's a lot more Widows, a lot more people that can play hit scan very effectively. But even at those ranks, she can do really good if you just flank around, so she's not really way too easy to counter. But once you go even further down, like Diamond or even like Middle Master below, she is so good. If you have supports, even just healing her just a little bit, like a Zen Orb or like Mercy, of course, that's really annoying, it's so hard to take her out. If you're a character like Soldier and if you don't have perfect headshot aim, you pretty much can't kill her, and with a lot of the other projectile characters, you can't really kill her either. Her damage is just so strong at such a far range and is such a hassle to kill, as a lot of the other hit scan aren't really way too good right now, unless you're like a god with them. It makes her really strong. It makes it so that she can kind of just maul through a lot of teams right now, as the meta just kind of doesn't go 100% against her. Even characters like Bastion, which you think would maybe work against her, she can work pretty well against because her range just outranges him by such a huge amount. Overall, a really good pick, can carry super hard, and is really hard to counter pick, and has won my team and the enemy team a lot of games, especially when I'm on my Smurf. And now we're getting to some picks that are even a little bit less than what you'd think that they would be for the characters that have really high win rates that you wouldn't really kind of expect. The first one is going to be Zenyatta, as you can see on the screen right now. Now, when I first saw this, I was kind of thinking about it for a second. There is the fact that he does have a lesser play rate than the majority of the other supports. I think he does have the least play rate, other than somebody that is the next character. So, that's kind of there. So I guess a lot of the good Zenyatta players are playing him. At the same time, though, I feel like he is doing pretty decent at this season. He can really support people such as Pharah, and of course he can really help with flankers, and of course he can really help if you have somebody like a Winston on your team. I feel like Zenyatta Winston is so strong because you just discord someone halfway across the map, Winston's behind them, Winston gets on them, and just kind of maul straight through them. And with dive comps and things like that, having somebody like a Zenyatta and having somebody like an Ana or like a Lucio, it can really do a lot of damage. You can kill people really fast, and especially if you learn how to carry with him, deal a lot of damage with him, you should be winning a lot of your games. So I think that's where that percent of per win rate really just comes out. He's really good if you can happen to learn him. It is a little bit awkward if you are just trying to learn him from the beginning, but if you can get through that phase, it's definitely worth it. And for the other support, which is the one that I wasn't expecting, it's Symmetra. Right now, as far as win rate goes, and as far as win rates have gone for pretty much forever, Symmetra has always been that #1 spot, the most OP, technically as far as win rates, if you count that, character in the game. Now, I know a lot of people wouldn't really think that, but the main source of this comes from the fact that there's a lot of very dedicated Symmetra players that are very good at the character, while her overall, play rate really isn't way too high. So the majority of the good players are playing this character and winning with this character, while a lot of the players that don't really know how to play her just aren't picking her, unlike a lot of the other supports and unlike a lot of the other characters in the game. So while she only has like a 1.5% popularity rate, her win rate is 55. And that is so strong. She also has a really good average KDA, a really good average metal, and her overall average stats are just amazing. With the new shield generator, she can do so much, and with that range, of course with that wall that she can send out, she has so much options that she has right now that it can make her extremely strong. With that said, if you're just trying to learn the character and you don't really know exactly how to play her, she can be really awkward. She's not as easy to pick up as really most other characters, and if you don't position your turrets in the right place, and if you just don't put out your shield at the right time, if you don't really, position yourself well at all, she can really feel quite weak. And I feel like that's where a lot of people kind of get the, dissensus that she's just kind of a bad character. With that said, though, I feel like if you do put in the time, you can get huge results with this character. She can do so much damage, just melt through people, and really support your team all at the same time. So, if you're trying to learn someone that could be maybe like that, well, there you go. Symmetra is a really nice choice, and as far as win rates, the best character to pick. And there you go. That's really all I'm going to say about this. I know Symmetra is kind of a thing out of left field. You'd think that you'd have like Reinhardt #1 or some tank #1 like Roadhog. And while they are, right below these 5, well, we actually got Symmetra. So that's something that's kind of weird as far as what I've experienced. But, it is just how the data works out. Of course, if you don't agree with it, make sure to tell me in the comment section down below. I do believe that there's a lot of other characters that can carry very easily as well. So if you feel like there's anyone that should have been on this list but wasn't, make sure to tell me down below as well. This is just based purely off of the data that I could find. Anyways, as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. Comment down below what you want to see in the future. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. And as always, guys, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.